At the beginning, I received a soft and cute little brother. I didn't know if I didn't ask, but when I asked, it scared me to death. Tang San, the martial soul hull, are all full of passion. It just doesn't seem like they're suitable for her. Tang Jian, a post-apocalyptic superpower, has already experienced a heart-wrenching life. How could she say that she should be lazy and have fun in this life? Finally, looking at this soft and cute younger brother in front of her, how could she let this small body bear it all? And then Tang Jian worked hard again. Sister. Can I not call sister? Can you not recognize Dad? P.S. Don't dismantle the CP, let the novel fly, don't spray keywords of the novel. Douluo. Don't move my Tang San brother, no pop-ups, Douluo. Don't move my Tang San brother, TXT complete collection download, Douluo. Don't move my Tang San brother, latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Soft and Cute Brother. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Soft and Cute Brother, Dad, she's awake. Tang Lian, who felt something in a daze, seemed to have heard some sound, but for a moment she didn't react. She seemed to have been bombed. Isn't it like she was bitten? Where are the zombies? Tang Jian felt that everything was too quiet, not like the end of the world. Did humans win and defeat the zombie king? So. She doesn't have to run around for food, nor does she have to constantly guard against loss. Thinking of this, Tang Jian quickly sat up from the bed. However, the force was too strong, almost throwing the small body out. Wait, little body. Tang Jian lowered his head and saw his small arms and legs. He touched his bones, which were just over 2 years old but less than 3 years old. Tang Jian took a breath. Reincarnated. Reincarnated. Or was it reborn? At this moment, she saw a cute little angel who was about the same age as her now, with soft short hair, a soft and cute face, big eyes, and a hiss. What kind of soft and cute little angel is this? Drink water. At this moment, Tang San's small body and small hands were holding a big cup of water. How cute he was. Thank you. Tang Jian quickly took it, wondering how could such a lovely child hold such a big glass of water. Tang Jian took a sip of water and said, "Wow, the water is still warm. How could there be such a lovely and sensible child? Wait a minute. He and she are about the same age now, and they are in the same room." She woke up from this bed. Can't it be that they are siblings? Ah, she realized. Brother, how well behaved. Tang Jian finally reached out his sinful hand and touched the little boy's cute head, feeling a sigh in his heart. So soft, so masturbating, I want to suck on. No, I can't be treated like a pervert, sister. What? Tang San, who was called his younger brother, was a bit confused. Although he was a child's body, his soul is an adult. It's a bit strange to be called a younger brother by this little girl. Touching his head, Tang San was momentarily stunned. In his past life, he used to be alone. In this life, he was very happy to have a father, but he had never touched his head like this before. A very strange feeling lingered in my heart. Tang San was also so stunned that the girl found an opportunity. So soft, wait. Brother, your face is so soft, how could it be so soft? Tang Jian, from her past life, always faced harsh environments, dangerous zombies, and mutated plants. She had seen such a cute and clean child before, but it was still her younger brother. She became an orphan early in the apocalypse and suddenly had a younger brother, which made her feel very beautiful. For a while, Tang Jian couldn't control herself. You let go first. Little soft and cute Tang San was a bit surprised. The girl's strength was a bit strong, and he couldn't break free for a while. Dad, Dad. Tang San heard the familiar footsteps and quickly shouted out, hoping that his father could save him. When Tang Hao came in, he saw two small groups rushing together without any danger, so he ignored Tang San's plea for help. "Dad, you're here." Tang Jian was quite curious about his younger brother. Seeing someone who looked a bit burly and a bit messy, Tang Jian said there was no problem at all. There were even more messy people in the afterlife. As for the younger brother who is called Daddy. Soft and cute, let alone a dad. After Tang Jian called out his father, he shifted his attention to his cute younger brother, and did not see Tang Hao, who was called his father, stiffen for a moment. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. My brother. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. My brother. In fact, Tang Hao is a little guilty. A few days ago, it was dark and windy at night. He took advantage of Tang San's sleep and went to see Ayin again. On the way, he drank a bit too much. In addition, it was dark and he stumbled as he walked. He collided with a child who suddenly appeared. Even though he reacted quickly, he hit the child and saw the girl unconscious. No, Tang Hao could only bring this child back. Tang Hao looked at the girl with a bright smile and felt a click in his heart, maybe it was because he was stunned. To confirm something, Tang Hao stepped forward and picked up the girl. Tang Yan is a bit silly without her cute younger brother. She was picked up and still held childishly, like two creaking nests. Even though she knew she was still a child, she was a powerful adult superpower in her heart. I'm still a child, I'm still a baby. After a moment of self-hypnosis, Tang Jian immediately put on a harmless smile and sweetly shouted, "Dad." Tang Hao, who was called Dad again, appeared calm on the surface, but a sentence came to his heart. "It's over, you're so foolish." Cough. Tang Hao coughed to conceal his guilt. He put down the girl and saw that she was still clinging to his son. Tang Hao had no choice but to pull the person back and point at Tang San, asking, "Who is he?" "My little brother." Tang Jian said of his younger brother, his little eyes shining brightly. "Dad." Tang San had never been with a girl before and was even treated as his younger brother, which he couldn't agree to. Unfortunately, Tang Hao gestured to Tang San not to speak. Tang San was a filial child and had to remain silent. "He's his younger brother, I'm my dad, and you?" Tang Jian. When asked, Tang Jian always felt a bit strange, and she instinctively answered. How did she feel that? Tang Jian looked up at the man and asked if he had used any induced powers. But it doesn't feel very similar. Just as Tang Jian was puzzled and wanted to ask something, the man nodded and placed Tang Jian next to Tang San. "Watch." "Cough, your sister." Tang Hao said and left. I didn't notice that when Tang San heard the words "sister," there was a momentary crack on his soft and cute face. Tang Hao, who was walking, couldn't help but accelerate 2 steps to see who had a missing child and see if he could be saved. However, Tang San, who was left behind here, once again loved being pinched at 105 degrees. Fortunately, Tang Jian saw little Zheng Tai, who had given up struggling and was unable to be loved, and in the end, she withdrew her evil claws. Tang San, whose face was pinched red, saw that he had finally been liberated and ran out after brushing it. It was really because this girl was too passionate about his face. It turned out that girls are like this, a bit scary. But more importantly, if there were one more younger sister, it would seem like a good thing. It seems that the younger sister's strength has increased a bit. It seems that his Xiantian Gong and Ghost Shadow mistake need to be practiced more intensively, otherwise he wouldn't be able to escape even a doll's henchman. Brother. Where are you going, brother? Tang Yan looked at his younger brother who ran out. Tang Yan ran out with short legs and bare feet, and I don't know if something might happen to such a young child without anyone watching. Recalling the way her younger brother let go of her and breathed a sigh of relief before running out, couldn't it be that she was mistaken for a perverted sister? When Tang Jian reflected on himself whether he had gone too far, he finally saw his soft and cute younger brother. Before Tang Jian could breathe a sigh of relief, he picked it up with another breath. My little brother. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Be good and obey. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Be good and obey. When Tang Jian ran out, he saw a child under 3 years old fiddling with something on the stove with a big fire. He saw his little brother, who looked like a ball, stepping on a small stool. From Tang Jian's perspective, there was a big fire under Tang San's feet, and white smoke was still billowing from the pot on the small stool. It looked so dangerous. That's still a child. Tang Jian's heart quickened as she watched. That's her cute little brother. How could he do such a dangerous thing? Tang Jian took a breath and ran over barefoot, hugging his younger brother and putting him safely aside. Tang San originally heard Tang Jian call out to his younger brother, and to be honest, he didn't want to respond. However, he didn't expect to be picked up by Tang Jian, who ran over. Tang San was a little confused. He was aware that the girl's strength was stronger than his, but he didn't expect that even this strength could easily lift him down. Do you know how dangerous it was just now? What if this small stool is unstable? What if you accidentally fall into it? Alright, even if it can't fall down, look at the hot water. If you accidentally fall into the pot, it will cook you, and even the great Luo immortal cannot save you. And this fire, is it something children can play with? Do you know that playing with fire comes at a cost? This is her hard-earned younger brother. She looks so soft, cute, and adorable. It's so scary to be hurt and bumped into. Tang Jian felt a pang of heartache when he thought about it. Why is this child so mischievous? Tang San, who was about to say something else, was suddenly taken aback by such a series of words. No one had ever said such things to him before. In his past life, he was an orphan adopted by the Tang clan. He worked hard to be himself. In this life, his father was not talkative or caring. Although he was a bit disappointed, he was not a real child. Even if he was disappointed, he would understand his father. Tang Hao has no experience raising children, and Tang San is also having a father for the first time. He doesn't know how to get along with his father, but he thinks it's better to treat him better. But I forgot that I am still a child now. Be obedient, younger brother. Don't do these dangerous things anymore. It's not too late for you to do them when you grow up. Tang Jian saw his younger brother standing there determined, thinking that she had scared him by saying something harsh, and Tang Jian saved him. There won't be anything wrong. After Tang San was touched and killed, he felt that this touch was different from the one he had just been touched by the girl. This touch made Tang San feel a bit heartbroken. He even felt a strong love for a little girl. I have done it many times, it won't hurt. He helped with things since he could run and talk. Later, when he got used to doing it, his father didn't care about it anymore. He did all the household chores. After Tang San explained that he would not be in danger, he wanted to continue cooking congee. Tang Jian can't let his younger brother do these things. Even if it doesn't hurt, what about Dad? Tang San has a little habit of being called younger brother, and he doesn't have the same initial reaction to Tang Jian calling him father. Dad has gone out. Maybe he went to buy some wine. Dad has finished drinking all the wine at home. Tang San didn't go into too much detail with Tang Jian. He was a bit afraid that Tang Jian would despise his father. Oh, it's okay with Dad. Tang Jian was a bit stingy. How could my younger brother rest assured to leave it like this? It's too heartfelt. But don't you have a mother? Tang Jian is puzzled. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Brother, let me come. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Brother, let me come. Although Tang Jian was puzzled, he did not rashly ask. She already knows about her younger brother and father, and she doesn't know much about the world. Based on their current attire, it feels like they are overlapping with retro and modern styles, and it's impossible to determine for now. Gollum, I don't know whose stomach is barking. Interrupted Tang Yan's train of thought, but saw her younger brother's gaze fall on her belly. Well, it seems like I'm hungry. Just wait a moment. The congee is almost cooked. He put out the fire and then put it out to cool. Tang Jian looked at his diligent younger brother and felt warm in his heart. What a warm younger brother. But it is impossible for such a young brother to serve hot congee. Brother, let me come. I'll do it. He's not a real kid, how could a small girl do these things? Younger brother, you still need to be obedient. After Tang Jian found out where the dishes were, he pushed his younger brother aside and started doing it himself. Sounds like you're very big. Sit still and don't move, Tang Yan said with caution, feeling his younger brother restless. Tang San had to sit down temporarily. If she was in danger, his ghostly presence should be able to save her. But to Tang San's surprise, Tang Kuei came out with hot congee, and the bowl in his hand did not shake. Even though I know Tang Yan has great strength, I never expected that he wouldn't be afraid of being hot. Tang San knew how tender the child's skin was. The newly baked congee was steady, as if he could not feel the heat in his hands. Tang San's eyes were a little strange. Even if he practiced Suanyushu, he felt very hot. He would put the congee on the stove to cool for a while, and he would call his father to eat it when the temperature was cold. Come on, eat quickly. Tang Yan searched around but couldn't find a small spoon. It's a pity that his younger brother is so small and can't use chopsticks. Tang Feng blew his brother's congee and handed it to him after it cooled down. Tang San looked in his eyes were all warm. It's the first time I've been treated like this. Even in the past, my dad would wait for the food to automatically cool down before giving it to him. He was very cooperative, not crying or making a fuss, and my dad never thought about blowing it cold for him. Even if he is not a real child, he is very happy about this action, even if the other party is a girl and exists like a younger sister. Okay. Tang San, whose thoughts were disrupted by this action, temporarily did not explore why Tang Jian was not afraid of being scalded. Even if he paid special attention to Tang Jian's small hands, he did not see any red marks on them. However, Tang Jian's thought at this moment is as follows. His younger brother is very clever in using chopsticks at a young age. When Tang Jian got the simple congee, his eyes suddenly brightened and he looked satisfied. In the end of the zombie world, it would be good to have a bowl of hot congee, and the congee was sweet and clean. It was really good to drink warm. On the other side, it's not as warm as the two little ones at home. Tang Hao returned to the place where he collided with Tang Yan and looked around for nearby families to see if anyone had lost their child. Of course, when Tang Hao does serious things, he dresses up and hides his identity to inquire. Unfortunately, even after running all day, he may not find any useful news. As the sky began to darken, Tang Hao had to go back first. Let's take a look tomorrow. However, when he returned to Holy Soul Village, Tang Hao still went to find the village chief and asked him to check if any nearby villages had lost any children. After learning about the situation, the village chief agreed to help find it. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. On Brothers and Sisters. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 On Brothers and Sisters. After everything quieted down at night, Tang Yan's thoughts drifted away, recalling the end of the world. Her powers, wind, water, wood, and healing. Tang Yan's little inquiries have all returned to the original awakened ability, without experiencing cultivation. Suddenly, Tang Yan felt something. What? Tang Yan was surprised and fell off the bed in disbelief, feeling completely dazed. It seems like her powers have become omnipotent. How could it be? Tang Yan took several sips of air conditioning and then several sips of air conditioning, feeling so excited that he couldn't calm himself for a moment. It was unbelievable. There were too many surprises in a day, whether it was having a cute little brother, all her abilities were awakened. "Sister, what's wrong with you?" There are currently no extra rooms at home, so Tang San is in the same room as Tang Jian. You can feel Tang Jian's movements, and at first glance, you can see that Tang Jian has fallen off the bed to the ground. You thought it was because there was a lot of noise from a child sleeping, so you rolled to the ground. Tang San smiled and realized that he was still a little dull. He couldn't help but shout out the little sister in his heart. "What? Did you just call me something?" Tang Jian was still delighted about the supernatural event when she heard Tang Sanruan's cute and crisp voice. If she didn't hear it wrong, her younger brother was calling her sister. How can titles be chaotic? Tang Jian temporarily suppressed the issue of supernatural powers and then said seriously to his younger brother who had already walked over, "I am a sister, I cannot shout the wrong thing." Tang Jian was able to get up from the ground on his own without being helped up by his younger brother. The night was a bit cold, and Tang Jian was afraid that his younger brother would get too cold, so he stuffed the person who had just come over into the blanket. Tang San was once again picked up by Tang Jian, who was about the same size as him. He had already accepted his fate a little bit. Tang Jian's strength was strong, but he was a little weaker and couldn't struggle. Going to Tang Jian was also for his good, without any malice. Tang San had only helplessness left. There is also a deep sense of urgency. He needs to work harder in his martial arts, otherwise he will lose face. Even if he looks like a child in his 20s, he can't really consider himself a child. "You're the same age as me, how come you're the older sister and I'm the younger brother?" "I think I'm the older brother," Tang San defended. "I'm old, so I'm my sister," Tang Jian said as expected. "How do you know it's you who's older, not me?" "I'm the older brother," Tang San said, trying to deceive him. He was the brother's correctness. "Brother, you're still young and may not know how to distinguish age, but it doesn't matter. Look at what Dad said today, I'm a sister. Believe what Dad said, I'm definitely a sister. Do you want to ask her to know? Although I don't know where Dad went, it's been so long and I haven't come back. My younger brother actually feels normal about his father not coming back yet. How did this father and son get along?" Tang Feng roasted a little and then continued. "Brother, if you don't believe me, let's compare our strength. As the big one, we must have the greatest strength." Without waiting for his younger brother to react, Tang Lianjiu didn't know where to get 2 walnut-sized stones. One had already been crushed by Tang Lianjiu before Tang San could react. Tang San could not refute the issue of strength. After Tang Jian finished pinching, he handed the other stone to his younger brother. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Roaming with Alcohol. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Roaming with Alcohol. My younger brother takes it, as long as you crush it like my sister did just now, I believe you are my brother or not. Tang Jian spoke confidently. Tang San, if he could crush it, it would already prove it, okay. Finally, Tang San, who wanted to be his brother, had no fruit. Go to bed, children need to sleep well to grow taller, Tang San said in a coaxing tone, unsure whether to laugh or feel helpless. Tang Jian has no plans to stay up late either. She is still a child and needs to rest well. The next morning, Tang Jian was awakened by a delicious and fragrant wine. In the apocalypse, alcohol was already a rare thing, much less than food. She had the privilege of drinking alcohol once before and fell in love with it. Where did you get the wine from? Tang Jian shrugged his little nose and slipped out barefoot again. Wow, it smells so good. Tang Hao looked at the little girl who suddenly appeared, but didn't say anything. He continued to pour a bowl of wine in his hand, drank it all in one gulp, and then poured another glass. Dad, can you give me some to drink? Tang Jian looked like a little alcoholic, but because he was small, his body appeared very short. Tang Jian could only climb onto the table with his entire small body. Tang Hao's drinking behavior paused for a moment when Tang Jian called out to his father. As he used to not want to talk to anyone as long as he drank, he suddenly thought of Yin in front of Tang Jian's small appearance and bright and lively eyes. Do you want to drink? Tang Yan nodded busily. I want to drink. Tang Hao has no experience in raising children, so he just pushed the wine that was about to reach his mouth forward, and the bowl of wine reached Tang Jian. Tang Yan took a deep breath of nostalgia, grinned with a smile on her face, her big eyes curved and squinted. She looked a bit cute in the face of a child under 3 years old. Just as Tang Yan was about to take a sip, he was snatched away by Tang San, who appeared out of nowhere. Tang Yan couldn't react and looked at the wine in the bowl spilled a little due to the snatch, which made Tang Yan feel heartbroken. Dad, Tang Jian is still young and cannot drink alcohol. This wine is not suitable for children to drink, Tang San said, returning the wine to Tang Hao. Tang Jian is still so young, and if there is too much alcohol, it will directly burn his brain and turn into a fool. Tang San, after detoxifying, naturally also knows some pharmacology. That's not suitable, I think it's very suitable. Tang Yan looked at those wine glasses that were shining. How could he take back the things that reached his mouth? No, I can't drink it. Tang San will never let it go, this is not a joke. Just a little bit, I'll drink a little bit, take a sip and it'll be good. If I can't take a sip, it'll taste good. Tang Yan couldn't help but swallow his saliva, watching his father drink one mouthful after another. It's so tormenting. Tang San saw that Tang Jian was still so persistent, and for a moment he couldn't think of any way. He saw that Tang Jian couldn't control his desire to steal wine. Tang San thought to himself, if you're drinking, then I'll drink too. Tang Jian's mind was full of alcohol, and after a pause, he finally managed to regain his senses from the temptation of alcohol. I am the same age as you, and if you drink, I will naturally follow suit. Tang San saw that his words were useful and continued to talk about this topic. Tang Jian looked at his soft and cute younger brother. How could such a young child drink alcohol? Finally, Tang Yan could only take one step back. Brother, be good. We don't drink alcohol, but you have to call me sister. If you call me sister, I won't drink anymore. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Calling Sister. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Calling Sister. Tang Jian knew she couldn't possibly drink enough, so she had to give up. But if she could hear Wan Meng's younger brother call her sister, she would be very happy. Tang San opened his mouth and always felt that something was missing. He didn't shout out a word, sister. Although Tang Jian didn't hear his younger brother calling out, he was soft and cute. He opened his mouth, indicating that there was hope. Dad, younger brother doesn't call me sister. Tang Yan, who was already sitting in a chair, grabbed Tang Hao's hem with a chubby little hand. Although he was very excited, he insisted on putting on a pitiful appearance. Tang Hao had never seen such a girl before, as if she was full of sunshine, bringing a lot of laughter to this quiet home. Even Tang San, who had always been obedient and quiet, had a bit more spiritual energy. Tang San. This kid has been too quiet and obedient since birth, unlike other kids who are mischievous. This rare little suppressed appearance has added a bit of unknown expectations to Tang Hao. Tang San understood his father's meaning and asked him to call him sister. Tang Jian is already shining brightly. If it weren't for his small body, with Tang Jian's gaze, it would be a strange scene of an ant looking at a cute child. Fortunately, Tang Jian is only 2 or 3 years old now, so he is quite cute. Sister. Tang San held his breath and finally uttered a word. However, after Tang San finished shouting, it didn't seem too difficult. Tang Yan was satisfied, and even her little paws were placed on Tang San's head to touch him a few times. Tang Yan happily murmured in her heart, my younger brother's name is Tang San, and I don't know which one it is. There is very little entertainment in the end of the world. When there is no mission, she stayed at the base and found some entertainment things. Some people downloaded and saved some TV anime videos before the end of the world. The protagonist of an anime that Tang Jian watched was also called Tang San. Unexpectedly, her soft and cute younger brother's name sounds the same as the name of the anime protagonist. In a few days, she will plan which, his brother's name is. As for now, she wants to raise her younger brother to be chubby and white, and her family seems quite poor. Tang Jian touched his chin and secretly planned. Living a peaceful and comfortable life while Tang Jian secretly planned and raised his younger brother. On this day, an old man arrived at home, thin and long in body, but in good spirits. Tang Jian didn't know who it was, but Tang San shouted clearly, "Grandpa Jack." "Hello Grandpa Jack," Tang Jian naturally followed with a crisp shout. "Hey, this is Xiao Lian." Jack knew about Tang Lian's existence when he spoke to Tang Hao. He was happy to see the child being cute and polite. As he grew older, he liked well-behaved children, but... Jack sighed a bit. "Xiao San, is your father here?" Before Tang San could answer, he heard a voice with little emotion say, "Third, take your sister to play." "Okay." Tang San understood that his father was going to talk to Jack, the village chief, and all he knew was to take the curious Tang Jian away. Tang Jian is not a real child either. She knows that some adults talk and don't like children around, but Tang Jian is a little curious about the sentence she just shouted, "Grandpa Jack." "I always feel a bit familiar," she should have heard this title before. "I just didn't remember it all at once, but she's not in her original world anymore. If I can't remember it, I won't think about it. It shouldn't be something important." End of this chapter. Chapter 8. With Concerns. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 With Concerns, How to Say It. Tang Hao asked Jack village chief first. "I searched for nearby villages, but no one lost their child." Jack shook his head, worried about this. Tang Hao didn't speak for a moment, and Jack felt a little heartbroken when he thought of the child's cute and obedient appearance. "Look at Xiao Yan, what a lovely child, why is it just?" "I know now, if you can't find it, it's okay. Anyway, it's convenient for him to call him father and brother. In recent days, he really likes the joy brought by this little girl, and the mistress also likes this sister. If you can't find it, maybe it's just right." Tang Hao was worried before that if Xiao Yan's parents found him, he would finally let go of the idea of whether to let go or not. Village Chief. Tang Hao explained the matter of Tang Jian's acceptance, while also urging the village chief not to reveal Tang Jian's identity. From now on, Tang Jian will be his daughter. Anyway, that foolish girl has lost her memory and doesn't remember anyone, and it seems that it will continue well. It's also fate, everyone's surname is Tang. I understand, this little girl is yours. Jack smiled and was very satisfied with Tang Hao's actions. It would be great if such a good child had a good place to go. When waiting for Tang San to come back, after saying something to Tang San nodded and found out that Tang Jian would be at his house from now on. Tang San was naturally happy. However, unlike Tang San's happiness, Tang Jian was feeling his little chin and walking around the house. The family was too poor, and the 3 adobe houses were so rudimentary that they could no longer be simple. There was also a wooden hammer with a simple drawing on it, and some tools for making iron. It seems that his father is a blacksmith. She is really too poor. She is thinking of ways to make money and make some delicious food. For her who came from the end of the world, what she cares most about is food. And my brother drinks some congee every day and eats some small dishes. How can he be nutritionally balanced? When Tang San arrived, he just watched Tang Jian squat and daydream, and then ran back to squat and daydream, not knowing what he was doing. After looking for a while, Tang San thought it should be a child's thing, and he thought he needed to learn it to make him look more like a child. I saw Tang Jian already running over. "Brother, let's take a stroll around the village." Tang San wanted to shake his head. He was not a real child. Usually, when he went out, he would either be teased and amused by adults, or be pulled and played around by a group of mischievous children. He was not used to either of them. However, seeing how Tang Jian wanted to go out, he nodded in the end. He was not a real child, Tang Jian was a real child, and it was normal for him to enjoy playing. Tang Jian doesn't know what Tang San is thinking. She wants to see outside and quickly integrate into the new world. You can see two or 3-year-old children running around hand in hand. Tang San didn't understand why this stroll was like this. For a moment, Tang San felt that he couldn't keep up with Tang Yan's brain circuits. The Tang San family lives in a more remote area, and Tang San rarely runs around the village. There are very few people who know Tang San, let alone Tang Yan. The busy adults looked at this unfamiliar little doll and couldn't help but talk to each other, probably asking whose family's doll it was. Tang San wanted to say something, but Tang Yan held on to the identity of the child and seemed unable to understand everyone's words. He continued to run, but he couldn't answer for a moment while holding on to Tang San. In the end, he gave up. He is still young, and so is his sister. Some people also recognized Tang San. "Isn't that our village blacksmith's child? I went to find him to help me with a hoe before. It's from his family, no wonder. That blacksmith is really weird. Children who are not neat are all raised freely. I heard he always leaves his children at home. It's lucky that this child can grow up so big. But why is there an extra child here? Why is there so much? The blacksmith didn't talk to us much, and we don't know how many children there are. The ones who don't look big may even be twins. Hey, you don't understand. A man and a woman are called dragon and phoenix fetuses. Isn't that Jack Village Chief? Just ask." Someone saw Jack Village Chief and couldn't help but ask. "Village Chief, whose family do those 2 running children belong to?" These 2 children from Tang Hao's family were still young before and didn't come out much while staying at home. They can run and jump, but they are lively, good children, good children. Jack, the village chief, kept it a secret that Tang Jian was not his biological child. He had promised Tang Hao before because Tang San's child rarely comes out, and not many people know about him. Moreover, Tang Hao is not a talkative person, so it would be easy to have another person in the family. After everyone knew the answer they wanted, they stopped paying attention to their 2 children and instead talked about Tang Hao, the blacksmith who raised children recklessly. "How about it, tired? Why don't I carry you on my back?" Tang Yan couldn't help but care when he heard his younger brother's chaotic breathing. "No, no need." Tang San shook his head directly. He didn't expect Tang Yan to run for so long, and his breathing wasn't chaotic at all. He underestimated her and didn't know who Tang Jian was before, as she had amazing physical and mental abilities. "Let's walk back slowly, then." Tang Yan took a rough look and used her weak ability to run while emitting some energy, roughly understanding the vitality here. The village is not very big, even though it is a small village, everyone doesn't seem very wealthy, but it feels like they are all a little richer than their family. Their family makes iron, but the people in the village make a living through farming. Tang Jian sees the most of the grains and vegetables. "Don't you go shopping anymore?" Tang San still has some differences in this shopping experience. "You're tired, why are you wandering around? Let's go home." Tang Yan chuckled and touched his cute and soft younger brother, with a look of listening to his sister's words. He really loved his brother too much. "I'm tired. Let's go home." Tang San Weijian, no one has ever said this to him before. It turns out that when I'm tired, I can go home. This life is a new one for him. He doesn't want everything from his past to be known, he has been working hard to be a child. But upon hearing Tang Yan's seemingly unintentional words, he couldn't help but feel sour. Silly little brother, let's go. Tang Jian held Tang San's hand and happily led the people away. Okay. Tang San also smiled after hearing this, but he didn't care about what Tang Jian said about his foolishness. It's just that he remembered this sister in his heart. In this life, he has a father and a sister, and he is someone he cares about. He is no longer alone, nor is he the Tang San who only knows how to cover his head and work hard without any worries in his heart, and is determined to complete the peak of Tang Sek's hidden weapons. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Something very wrong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Something very wrong. After Tang Jian roughly inspected the livelihoods of the entire village, she quickly stirred up the yard next to her home. When she was in the apocalypse, she had a jade pendant, which was a considerable space with many of her belongings inside. Unexpectedly, she also followed her. She also discovered that while taking a shower that day, the emerald green jade pendant had been transformed into a necklace pattern and worn around her neck. She was overjoyed. Unexpectedly, after the ability became omnipotent, she developed a spatial ability herself. However, the spatial ability was still in its initial state, only 1 cubic meter, which was still small and needed to be gradually cultivated and upgraded. But now, Tang Lian was holding a hoe that didn't quite match her, and was having sex while working. Suddenly, she sorted out a considerable piece of land next to her home. Combined with abilities such as loosening soil, weeding, and taking out some vegetable seeds from space, Tang Yan looked at the dishes in the village, but fortunately she had all those seeds. Using his powers to induce the seeds to sprout, Tang Lian then planted the sprouted seeds. Seeing that he had to run a short distance to fetch water, Tang Lian felt it was troublesome, so he used his power water and poured a little more directly. After finishing, Tang Yan was satisfied and not worried that the things she planted would die. With a combination of wood-based abilities, soil-based abilities, and water-based abilities, she felt that she was growing vigorously. Tang San, who had picked up firewood and returned, looked at the neatly arranged and beautiful land with some surprise. Is this really a child of 2 or 3 years old who spent less than a morning creating it? How about it, pretty? I think everyone in the village does it this way. In a few days, these dishes will be ready to be served, and we can either eat them or ask the uncle in the village to sell them. Tang Jian explained his plan. She hasn't been tinkering around in vain these days, but after investigating, she found out that the grain and vegetables in the village are all sold by asking the people in the village for help, and most families do it this way. Tang Jian has not thought of any way to make her family better at the moment. She is still young and many things are not easy to do, but she can farm. Not only can she farm, but she can also cultivate special abilities. Why not? Tang San could only nod, although he felt that Tang Jian was a bit powerful and not quite like a normal child. He mistook her for his sister and unconsciously put on some filters. There is not much doubt left, it can only be said that Tang Jian is too clever. In the afternoon, Tang Hao got up to forge iron and didn't pay much attention to a piece of land next to the house. As long as the 2 children were well, he didn't care about anything else. In the afternoon, he would forge iron, and at night, he had time to sneak a glance at Ayin. In the morning, he would either drink or sleep, and sometimes he would drink without work. Tang Hao's life was really simple. He didn't care about anything else. After knowing that the 2 children had made the house organized, he became even more indifferent. He drank his wine, slept in his sleep, and whenever there was work, he would forge iron. After leaving the children unattended, Tang Hao's life became more like a messy old man. Tang Jian didn't even look at her, but he couldn't persuade her. Her younger brother also shook his head at her, and she took over as Tang Hao. Just on this day, Tang Hao was also living, but when he saw the lush green vegetables, he felt something was wrong. Something is very wrong, it's just growing faster. A few days ago, it was still bare, and even yesterday was a small inch of greenery, but today, why has it grown so much? End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Dad, what's wrong? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Dad, what's wrong? Even if Tang Hao had never planted vegetables, he knew that it was impossible for them to grow so quickly in just over 10 days. It seemed like they were almost ready for picking. Tang Hao wanted to ask Tang Jian, who was taking care of the dishes, but the girl didn't know where she had gone, and even Tang San followed suit. Tang Hao took this matter to heart and prepared to find an opportunity to ask the two children what was going on. Tang Jian and Tang San both practiced their own martial arts abilities by picking firewood, and achieved a certain degree of coincidence without knowing each other. In the evening, Tang San and Tang Jian both came back carrying some firewood. It is said that the children of the poor have long been in charge of the family. Although Tang San did these things at a young age, Tang Jian is not very strange because she lives in the end of the world. In order to survive, children have been planning for food, running errands, pulling grass, sweeping the floor, or doing things they can do from the beginning when they can walk. In order to survive, every child is very strong. So when Tang San did a lot of things, Tang Jian was not surprised at all. He just felt that his younger brother was really obedient, intelligent, and capable. Tang Jian and Tang San have returned. As usual, the two of them were supposed to cook, but today there was a slight difference. When they returned home, they smelled waves of rice fragrance. Tang Yen blinked his big eyes, and the sun came out from the west. She stayed at home for so long and finally saw her dad cooking. Dad sometimes cooks, too. Tang San looked at Tang Jian's surprised expression, a little amused. He was almost 3 years old, and he often does cooking, but it's not something he always does. Sometimes Dad still cooks. But as he grows up, his father only does less. Oh. Tang Yen nodded. Putting down the firewood on Tang San's back, Tang Jian had not yet gone to find his father when he saw him come out. Dad! Dad! After seeing Tang Hao, the two children cheerfully stopped as usual. Tang Hao either ignored him or casually let out a few words without any extra words. But this time, Dad! Tang Yen exclaimed in surprise and then became puzzled. She was picked up. What happened? Tang Jian felt a bit awkward being held, but thinking it was her father, she relaxed and smoothly placed her little hand on his broad shoulder. Dad, what's wrong? Tang San was also surprised by Tang Hao's actions. Dad doesn't hug people casually. After having some thoughts, Tang San was a bit scared. Can Tang Yan's parents find him? As soon as this idea came out, Tang San felt a bit wilted. Fortunately, Tang Hao only carried Tang Jian to a vegetable field outside the house. Tang Hao put the person down and pointed to this green vegetable field, asking knowingly, "Did you plant this?" "Yeah." "Dad, do you want to eat?" "You should be able to pick it tomorrow," Tang Yen nodded, thinking that Dad wanted to eat it. After all, when she was in the apocalypse, when she didn't go out to search for resources in the base, she just went to grow vegetables. The vegetables grown by her woody abilities are loved by many people. Tang Yen would subconsciously think that his father was just going to eat. How did you grow it? Why did it grow so fast? Tang Hao naturally didn't want to eat it. What he wanted to know was why these vegetables could grow so fast. He had already checked and the land here was not particularly special. He also asked Jack, the village chief, that it would take at least 2 months for such a variety of vegetables to harvest, but considering the time, these vegetables only took about 10 days. The difference is too far. End of this chapter.